What up, guys? Your boy Just King ZA. Welcome back to the Just King ZA podcast. And today we're gonna be talking about the child that has died in Alexandra from consuming snacks bought from a foreigner's shop. Those guys are the Ethiopians, Somalians, Eritreans, that the SPAZA owners. So we're gonna be talking about it. It's yet another death. I don't know. It's death number what. So we're gonna be talking about that on this video and everything concerning that, because I haven't done a video yet, concerning these things. So yeah, before we get into it, guys, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any video. Please subscribe to the channel so that we can grow and have a good audience, an audience that when we drop things, it doesn't miss you. It doesn't miss you, because we can drop good content and it can somehow miss you, because you're not subscribed. So subscribe to the channel. Let's grow. Let's have a community. Yeah, man. So let's get straight into it. So 2024, a lot of kids, have been unalived, from eating snacks, that were bought at these SPAZA shops, owned by East African people, what they call them, Cushitic people, or whatever, that mixed race people from East Africa. This includes Somalians, includes Ethiopians, includes Eritreans. So they've been selling products. They've been here in South Africa for quite some time, but the boom of them being here was around about 2010s, the 2010s. That's when the boom of these people, we just started seeing them everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, and since then, they've created an industry here in South Africa of SPAZA shops, where they run a chain of SPAZA shops and they manage it together, they work together. You know what I'm saying? So, but now, these stores have been famous for selling certain products that are not that good, or that are not of a good standard, to be consumed, with some of them being exposed for buying, for manufacturing their own products, rather than, getting basically counterfeit products. You know what I'm saying? They've been, some have been discovered in the toilets, cooking that food, cooking whatever snacks, whatever things, mixing it up in a toilet using toilet water. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that has been seen over the years, and that has always been a topic, for that has led people to fight. People to go to those shops and destroy the food products. That has caused, that has been something that has been happening over the years. It's, people have been labeled xenophobic. It's been one of those things. Very, very bad practices being done by these stores. So it's nothing new, for South Africans to be, some of the xenophobic acts that people say is xenophobic acts, whatever. A lot of them have been created by things such as this. When people look at it and some very bad practices are happening, and as these practices happen, we as South Africans, we are seeing all these things. You know what I'm saying? It's trending every now and then. Even this thing of like foreigners, like kids being abducted and taken and put in at the back of a van, like 12-year-old, 11-year-old kids, maybe 5 or 10 of them in one buggy, in one van, being discovered by people like, hey, open your thing, open this car, what's inside? Then you find kids. These are things that are happening in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? So this is nothing new. When people act, it's like, hey, people, this, what, but these are things that are happening. And that's why we really go back and forth with people who defend this type of things, because You guys defending these things, it means that you stand with these people. You stand with human traffickers. You stand with all these things that are happening. You know what I'm saying? And that's why South Africans end up being violent. You know, it must, you know. They have to be violent. They have to take their law into their own hands, because if this type of thing can happen, what if it happens to your children? And it's crazy that you guys, when it comes to your children, you don't want anything. You want your children to be safe. You want your children to be at the best schools. You want to do everything. You want to live lavish. But then you come here, you come to people's neighborhoods and whatever, and you put other people's children in hell. Imagine if there was your children. So the very cowardly, very hypocritical behavior. You know what I'm saying? And people have no choice but to put it in their hands, you know, to make sure that, hey, you know, we call the cops, yeah, but we make sure we're not going to wait for the cops to catch you. We're going to catch you first. And then cops will find us when we have tied you up and you are sitting there. Do you understand? And then they will arrest you, you know. So these are the type of things that are happening. Like, I don't understand. Like, these Somalians, you know, Ethiopians, these people, they don't learn. Like, it keeps happening. It keeps happening. These things keep happening, where it's like bad business practice. You know what I'm saying? So when South African talk, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like those visitors that come to your house and tell you what to do, and you must not say nothing. You must be hospitable. You must make the tea for them. You must do this. If you don't make the tea, they're gonna go and badmouth you. Do you understand? That's what's happening in South Africa. A bad guest. These are bad guests. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they are good guests, but even the good guests, they stand up for the bad guests. So, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to South Africans, we're tired of playing Popeye. We're not Popeyes. We're not Popeye and spinach. We're grown-ups. We're people. We know right and wrong. And we're not here to entertain some guests. Everyone is trying to make it. And most importantly, everyone is trying to create a life for their children. Everyone is trying to raise their children. No one's trying to bury their child, especially at the hands of another man or another woman. You know what I'm saying? No one is trying to bury their child. So that's why you see that the South Africans are standing up, and they will continue to stand up. There's no xenophobia, blah blah things that are gonna keep us from talking. No, never. You're not gonna keep us from talking. We're gonna talk and talk and talk. It's gonna be uncomfortable for you to live here. It's gonna be uncomfortable for you to move further and do your things. You know what I'm saying? Because you're my so-called fellow brother, but your so-called fellow brother acts like your enemy. They act worse than your enemy. They act worse than your enemy. Or your so-called enemy. They act worse than that. You know what I'm saying? You can't come and tell me how to run my house and run my things when you can't even run your own things back at home. You can't even tell your politicians. This same energy, you should be putting it on you're projecting. You're projecting. You are taking energy that you should have been doing in your own country against your government, and you're coming here to put it on us. Isn't that abuse? We will not be abused. We will not be abused in our own home. You know what I'm saying? So here we are, children dying left, right, and center in South Africa after consuming snacks from these things. This is a state of emergency. So shout out for the government for seeing this as a state of emergency. We need to act quick, because it seems like every week now children are eating these snacks, and you know. So, and then you guys are busy saying, hey, why don't you buy from this thing? People were used to buying from your stores. They were used to it, you know. They're just saying, you know what I'm saying? They're just used to it, especially kids. You know, they have that habit of buying from your stores, you know. Some of the kids are your friends sometimes, you know. Hey, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So they're used to buying. So for people to just say, hey, no, stop buying there, stop doing this. Maybe you got one, maybe they trusted the store and, they didn't have a problem. As I always say, South Africans are not xenophobic. People buy from those stores, they don't have problem. But now when things like this happen, and then you want to tell us, hey, why don't you buy? Stop buying. Just tell me how fucked up you are. You are fucked up because you are in defense mode rather than understanding the real reality. And it's crazy that the foreigners who do these things who are people who are not even in Africa. Those people are the most diabolical. Those people who sell out their own birthrights and go to America and get some job in America, pleasing a white man there. And then they come and they want to comment on Africa and in South Africa and say, hey, South Africa. You niggas, you need a fucking slap in your mouth. You need to be slapped in your mouth. And just slap the taste buds out of your mouth. I find you there in America and I slap the taste buds out of your mouth. Because you leave Africa and you sell your birthright. And then you want to come and, when you are in America there, why don't you focus on Trump there? Why don't you focus on Kamala Harris? Or better yet, never mind Kamala Harris, you have no say there as well. Why don't you talk about your own people? Talk about Tinubu. I've never heard any of you talk about Tinubu. What are you afraid of an old man like that? Talk about Tinubu. Talk about that brood. I want to see you open lives about that brood. I want you to talk about him 24/7, but you are here speaking about South Africa. You know what I'm saying? So you will not have peace, and you will not have been having peace, and you won't have peace. So that's just it. Just accept it. There won't be any peace for your people here in South Africa. If people keep behaving the way they behave, you know what I'm saying? So this needs to be dealt with. This needs to be dealt with. The children, what happened to the children needs to be dealt with, or else people are going to deal with it themselves. Right now they're just destroying the products. People are going to be, it's almost like the government is asking for genocide. That's what it looks like. It's almost like the government is like, man, when are you guys going to kill each other? When are you guys going to unalive each other? It's almost like they're waiting for that. It's almost like they're pushing for that. It's almost like they're pushing for a mass genocide, which will leave a lot of South African blacks or Nigerian or Somalian dead, in large numbers. Basically like millions of people. It's almost like that's what they want. Because if they didn't want this, why don't they just make a change? Why don't they hear the cries? Why don't they, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what this shit is going to lead to. That's what it's going to lead to, because people are going to be so angry. They're going to go and attack and murder a lot of people. And then the other group is going to retaliate. Maybe they have weapons and whatever. Then they're going to retaliate. Then we want to have a genocide here in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, this is just bad leadership or what? Cyril Ramaphosa. Yeah, what a pop president, man. What a pop president. That brewer is the worst mistake we've ever made in South Africa. Worst mistake is Cyril Ramaphosa. The worst mistake is electing that brewer. We should have gotten a Jacob Zuma person or someone that was recommended by Jacob Zuma. We should have allowed the president to give us a direction of where to go from him, instead of allowing white media to confuse us, to say that Jacob Zuma was a bad president. No. Although he did some bad things as well, but it's better that compared to what Ramaphosa is doing. At least he allowed ZEP, he tried to to make it legal, for Zimbabweans to be here, ZEP. You know what I'm saying? Now Ramaphosa is just quiet about this thing. Rebellion Schreiber, they are trying to deport, but for how long is it going to work? Isn't it too late? It's gonna be too late. You're gonna be having to spend, now it's about to spend 52 million on deportations. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how well that goes, but it needs to, the border situation needs to be solved. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to these things, guys, these guys must deal with this thing, or they're asking for people to deal with it themselves. You know what I'm saying? So maybe South Africans, it's time for South Africans to be armed, to really be armed, to carry AK-47s, to carry serious stuff. It's time, because we don't know what these people are carrying. These people have been getting armed, over the last few years. Every time we're taking them and all that, they are preparing bit by bit. The day they're gonna take out their guns and whatever, it'll be a crazy thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these people want. Basically, these people are trying to kill South Africans. I'm talking about the government. It's trying to kill South Africans. They're trying to set us up so that we can be murdered. The government is trying to set us up for murder so that we can be murdered in cold blood. They're trying to find ways just to get rid of us so that they can have their ways with their illegal foreigners and run their things. You can see in the workplaces they've trying to eliminate the black South Africans. They want to get people who only need to be paid a small amount, who only need, we're a nuisance to them. Like, what are you saying, man? The capitalists, this is where capitalism goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? So they don't see us as human. Basically, even the whites, they don't see us as human. They much rather hire those foreigners from there. And then those foreigners unalive them there in the farms there. Because they are being unalived by foreigners, by people from Mozambique, from the same people they hire and murder them. But if they were able to hire South African, they wouldn't be murdered, because South African has Rainbow Nation in his mind. Those people there, we speak to them on lives every day. They hate whites. They hate whites. And they hate them in that way. That is brutal. Like, they must get out of our land. They come here, they pretend, just to get some rags, just some cash there. One day they decide to kill you here. You guys are crying genocide. The way you guys are so effed up, you fighting black South Africans at every cost. Anything that happens, black South Africans. But when you look deep into it, it's not. You went and you are going and taking people that are not registered, that are not, can't be traced, can't be whatever. So it means if they want to cut your body part out and, and sell it, they can do it. You're not going to trace them, you're not going to do whatever. One advice I'll give you, stop ignoring black South Africans. Stop ignoring black South Africans. Start treating black South Africans the way they should be treated. Black South Africans must earn money, must take care of their families, and you must pay them. You're trying to earn money by yourself. You're trying to be rich all by yourself. Black South Africans, to you, they are slaves. According to you, black South Africans are slaves. They are not supposed to be earning anything. They are not supposed to be making anything. They are not supposed to be anybody's in life. According to you, racism will be your murderer. Racism and greed will be the reason you unalive yourself. You won't unalive, you'll be unalived by those people you claim to trust. It's almost like me trying to trust a friend rather than my own brother, when my brother has done nothing. When my brother is just demanding what's due to him, and then me, I go in and say, when you are lazy, I go in and get another person. Does that person have the best interest for me? No. I can't just abandon my brother. I have to find ways to get into his brain, and we work together. We find an amicable thing, and then we work together, rather than me ditching him or ejecting him. That's what you guys are doing to South Africans. You are ejecting South Africa. You can't eject. You can't press eject. You can't run away from labor issues. You can't run away from labor issues. People gotta eat. People gotta be paid. I need to get paid. You understand? Niggas gotta get paid. You can't eat alone. Niggas gotta get paid. Can you work for peanuts? No, you must be able to pay rent. You must be able to buy food. You must be able to have transport. That's it. That's it. Now you want to pay me something. You want to pay someone 2,000 rand. What are they going to do? Which place costs 2,000? You know? Which place? You know what I'm saying? Can you buy a grocery for 500 rand? No, man. Beef up the dough. Bump the cheese up. Bump the cheese up, motherfucker. Bump the cheese up. Bump the cheese up. Otherwise, you're gonna be hiring. Cannibals. It's the cannibals. Yeah. They're gonna practice cannibalism on you. They're gonna eat your balls, nigga. We don't know who you're hiring there from Africa. Some people in Africa, they are cannibals. And people, they sell body parts. They sell your dick. You know. They sell your balls. They sell your kidneys for rituals. They put you gouge out your eyes and sell them at the black market of these witchcraft things. And they will say, this is the body part of a mulungu. If it was 100,000, they say 200,000 rand. For a normal one, it's 100,000. For yours, because you're white, they charge 200K. They take out now they cut off the toenails, the toes. They cut off the toes now. They sell it for 100,000 rand. Or whatever, I'm not sure, but that's the story that was trending. 100,000 they sell body parts. These people, do you understand? South Africans, there are people who do those things, but be very careful. Get someone traceable. Someone has to be traceable. Do you understand? So learn the hard way. Stop disrespecting South Africans. Your grandma, your grandpa, they know how hardworking South Africans are. They know it. You know what I'm saying? You can't devalue us in our own land. No, never. Can never happen. And to the colours and whatever, I'll make a separate video for colours. Colours are very disappointing to me. They're very disappointing. I had someone saying, hey, my grandfather is white, my mother is Pedi, grandmother is Pedi, hey, my what. How can you sympathize with whites? You can't sympathize with whites. You have to sympathize with, otherwise you are a sellout. You can't sympathize with people who have oppressed you. These people have oppressed whites, they have oppressed colors, they have oppressed whatever, everything on this planet, they've oppressed it. And then you want to side with those colors. To me are sellouts, and they deserve the confusion that they have, because you can't be confused. You can't be confused because you will never be white. No, even if your father is van der Merwe or whatever, even if your father is that, you will never be that. You will never be white. When you go to his family, you are the brown kid, you are the black kid. You'll never, your hair is scruffy, your hair is whatever. But when you go to your blacks, It's like, oh, one of us. Do you understand? Literally. The only reason blacks now are starting to feel weird about colors is because colors, they want to be white, you know. So we end up saying, wait, this one, no. Let's look for ourselves. Let's focus on ourselves and build ourselves up. These colors, they are too lost for our liking, you know. And who the hell sympathizes with the oppressor or the oppressor of the people of their skin? You know what I'm saying? So this video is about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, your boy Just King ZA signing out.